Why women start missing you the most when you pull away. Have you ever noticed that a woman only starts to miss you when you finally pull away? In a generation where attention is cheap and fleeting, being unforgettable is rare. But what makes a woman think about you long after you're gone? Today, I'm uncovering powerful truths that will make her miss you more than ever. Lessons that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. Pay close attention, because this is the insight every high-value man must understand. Section 1. The power of absence and mystery. Absence is one of the most underestimated yet powerful forces in the realm of attraction. In a world where everyone is connected through social media, text messages, and instant notifications, the concept of being unavailable has become rare. This is why creating a sense of scarcity can make a woman start missing you in ways she never expected. When you become less accessible, it triggers a psychological response. The human brain is wired to crave what it cannot have, and this is especially true in relationships. Think about it. When you're always available and ready to respond at a moment's notice, you become predictable. Predictability, while comforting, can often lead to a lack of appreciation. But when you suddenly pull back, not in a way that seems forced or manipulative, but naturally and authentically, it disrupts the usual flow and creates a gap. This gap is where curiosity, intrigue, and desire begin to build. Modern women, particularly in this generation, are used to receiving a lot of attention. A simple photo on Instagram or a story update can draw dozens of likes and replies within minutes. When you refrain from being part of that crowd, it signals to her that you are different. You're not chasing validation or trying to win her over through constant communication. Instead, you're secure enough in yourself to let silence do the talking. That silence, this break from the norm, becomes a powerful motivator, making her wonder why you're not like everyone else. This doesn't mean you should ignore her or play mind games. It's about being intentional with your presence. Choose to be present when it matters and step back when it doesn't. This balance creates a mysterious aura around you, making her realize that your attention is not a given, but a privilege. The moment she feels that your attention is valuable, she starts missing it when it's no longer readily available. Section 2. Showcasing growth without bragging. One of the most attractive traits in a man is his ability to grow and evolve independently. Modern women who are ambitious and driven are drawn to men who embody the same characteristics. However, showcasing this growth in a way that doesn't come off as boasting is an art. In this generation, where social media highlights often blur the line between reality and showmanship, subtlety is key. Pursue your interests relentlessly and let the results speak for themselves. Whether you're advancing in your career, learning a new skill, or investing time in a hobby that brings you joy, the impact of this personal growth will be visible without you needing to say a word. For example, if you've started hitting the gym and working on your fitness, she'll notice the changes without you having to post daily updates. If you're learning a new language, she might hear about it through a mutual friend or in a casual conversation. This subtlety is what sets apart a high-value man from those who constantly seek external validation. The key is to be unapologetically passionate about your pursuits. When you're genuinely engaged in your self-development, it shows that your world doesn't revolve around her or anyone else. This independence is magnetic. In a society where many seek to define their worth through likes, comments, and external validation, being a man who is focused on his journey without broadcasting every step is refreshing. She starts to wonder what you're doing, who you're with, and what new experiences you're having without her. This quiet, self-assured approach stirs curiosity and admiration. It's the realization that you're not stuck in the same cycle as others, but are on a path of constant betterment that makes her miss your presence and wonder if she's still a part of your life story. Section 3. Emotional control and composure. In an era dominated by impulsivity and overreactions, the man who can maintain emotional composure stands out as an anomaly. Emotional stability is rare and highly valued, especially in relationships where drama and chaos often play center stage. Women of this generation have seen enough examples of reactive behavior, whether from peers, ex-partners, or the media. What truly makes a man unforgettable is his ability to remain calm and collected, even in challenging situations. When you demonstrate that you can handle high-stress scenarios with poise and clarity, you create an image of strength and reliability. A man who doesn't let his emotions control him is someone a woman can respect and admire. It's the man who can stay grounded even in the face of adversity, who creates a lasting impression. Section 4. Emotional control and patience. Emotional control and logical thinking are key aspects of maintaining a strong presence. Imagine a situation where there's a disagreement or a heated moment. While most people might raise their voices or react impulsively, you choose to listen, assess, and respond with measured words. This kind of emotional maturity sends a powerful message. You're not just any man. You're a man who can be trusted to handle challenges without losing control. Women start to miss this kind of presence once it's absent, because it brings a sense of security. Emotional composure shows that you're dependable, not just in good times, but also when things get rough. It's not about being emotionless or indifferent. It's about choosing your responses carefully and maintaining respect, no matter the situation. When you carry this trait, it's hard for a woman to forget. She will compare this stability to other experiences and realize how rare it is, making her miss you when you're not there to provide that emotional anchor. Moreover, emotional control reflects deep self-awareness and strength. When you're able to pause and consider before reacting, you demonstrate that you value understanding over winning arguments. This approach fosters better communication, and when you're absent, she starts to miss that level-headedness that makes you unique. The contrast between you and others who act impulsively becomes clearer, deepening her appreciation for who you are. Section 5. Becoming unpredictably predictable. Finding the balance between predictability and surprise is an art that few master. While consistency builds trust and reliability, a touch of unpredictability keeps things exciting. This combination is what makes interactions with you memorable. If she knows you're dependable but can never quite predict your next move, you create an environment where she's always engaged and intrigued. For example, if you've established a habit of sending her a good morning text every day, taking a day off from that routine and surprising her with a thoughtful voice message in the afternoon or an unexpected gesture can shift the dynamic. This doesn't mean being inconsistent with your values or flaking on plans. It's about incorporating small, unexpected changes that show you're not stuck in a monotonous pattern. Modern relationships often suffer from predictability, where routines become repetitive and stale. Being predictably dependable, yet adding these spontaneous elements, breaks that cycle. It communicates that while you are someone she can rely on, you're not someone she can take for granted. When you step back or introduce a surprise after being consistent, it creates moments of anticipation and excitement. She will begin to miss the blend of stability and thrill that only you provide. Women are drawn to mystery, but not to the point of frustration. The key is to balance the predictable with the unpredictable in a way that keeps the relationship dynamic. When you master this, she won't know what small surprise or thoughtful gesture will come next, making her anticipate the moments you share. This anticipation creates a longing that grows when you're not around, sparking the thought, what's he going to do next? The unique blend of these elements is what makes your absence noticeable and your presence cherished. Section 6. The importance of purpose over validation. Perhaps one of the most overlooked yet crucial elements of making a woman miss you is having a purpose that goes beyond seeking validation from others. Today's generation of women is fiercely independent, intelligent, and driven. They recognize when a man's confidence is rooted in his achievements versus when it's fueled by the approval of others. The man who is dedicated to his goals, who prioritizes his mission over superficial praise, stands out. Living a purpose-driven life means that you have aspirations and ambitions that keep you motivated, whether anyone is watching or not. It's about waking up each day with a sense of direction and working towards something meaningful. When a woman sees that your energy isn't spent on trying to impress her or anyone else, but is focused on your path, she starts to respect and admire you more. It's not about neglecting her or being cold. It's about maintaining that unshakable sense of self that doesn't waver in the face of external opinions. This trait is compelling because it indicates that you won't lose yourself in the relationship. You are a man who knows who he is and what he stands for. This quality is rare in a world that often prioritizes attention and quick wins. The realization that you won't compromise your purpose to gain approval makes a woman feel that being part of your life is a privilege. It's the subtle understanding that you are working on your legacy, and if she wants to be part of it, she'll need to value and respect your journey. Section 6. The importance of purpose over validation. It's not just your physical presence she misses, it's the sense of ambition and purpose you bring. She will find herself comparing other experiences to the drive and focus you exuded. This comparison often leads to the realization that your presence brought more depth and meaning to her interactions. The desire to be part of that purposeful energy will linger, making her miss you even more when you're not around. Section 7. Mastering the art of effective communication. Communication is often viewed as a simple exchange of words, but to make a lasting impact, especially with modern women, it needs to be more than that. Today's generation values authenticity, understanding, and real conversations. If you can communicate effectively, meaning you're able to listen without interruption, respond thoughtfully, and express your opinions with clarity, you'll create a connection that goes beyond surface-level interaction. Modern women, accustomed to the chaos of digital conversations filled with emojis, abbreviations, and passive responses, find genuine communication refreshing. This doesn't mean you need to be overly verbose or constantly engaged in deep talks. It's about being present and engaging when it matters. When you're capable of discussing complex topics, sharing your thoughts in a balanced manner, and listening to her perspectives, it leaves a mark. Even when you're not physically around, she'll remember the way you spoke to her, how you made her feel heard and valued. The power of meaningful communication extends beyond face-to-face interactions. Thoughtful text messages that show you've listened and voice notes that capture the warmth in your voice become valuable memories. When she experiences other conversations that feel generic or unfulfilling, she'll find herself missing the depth of your words. This realization that not everyone communicates like you do will make her long for the connection you provided. Section 8. The silent confidence of non-neediness. There is a clear difference between being interested in someone and needing them for validation. Women today are highly attuned to this difference, and it can often be the factor that sets a high-value man apart from the rest. When you approach relationships from a place of non-neediness, it signals that while you enjoy their company, you do not require it to feel complete. This quiet confidence is magnetic, and hard to forget. Non-neediness doesn't mean being distant or aloof. It means that your sense of self-worth isn't tied to how often she replies to your messages or how much attention she gives you. You maintain your independence and personal happiness, which in turn creates a natural allure. She will start to notice that you're not like the men who cling or overextend themselves just to stay relevant in her life. When you're comfortable going days without reaching out because you're busy with your pursuits, it shows that you are self-assured. This makes her wonder what you're up to and why you're not as attached as others. This creates an intriguing dynamic where she starts to reach out to you, reversing the usual chase dynamic. The realization that your world doesn't revolve around her triggers curiosity and, eventually, longing. When she compares this dynamic to others who constantly seek her approval, she'll miss the man who stands firm on his own. Section 9. Providing emotional safety. One of the most powerful ways to make a woman miss you is by being her emotional safe space. In a generation where relationships can often be tumultuous and filled with uncertainty, the man who can offer stability and emotional safety becomes irreplaceable. Emotional safety means she knows that when she talks to you about her fears, hopes, or even daily experiences, she won't be judged or dismissed. You provide a space where she feels understood and respected. This doesn't mean you need to solve all her problems or agree with everything she says. It's about being there as a steady force, someone who listens and offers empathy rather than quick solutions. Women today are balancing many roles and expectations, so the man who can be her calm in the storm will stand out. Even when you're not around, she'll feel the void of that emotional support, realizing that she misses the conversations where she could be vulnerable without fear. Providing emotional safety also involves showing that you can handle tough conversations maturely. When disagreements happen, you don't shut down or resort to sarcasm. Instead, you engage with patience and a willingness to understand her point of view. This builds trust over time, and when that trust is suddenly absent, it leaves a notable gap. She'll find herself thinking back to those moments, wishing she had someone who provided the same level of comfort and understanding. Section 10. Consistency that doesn't feel predictable. Consistency is a vital part of any relationship, but it should never feel monotonous or predictable. When you can be consistent while also keeping a level of excitement and novelty in your interactions, it sets you apart. Relationships thrive on balance, being dependable while also adding moments of surprise that keep things fresh. Section 9. Stagnant consistency versus growth. Stagnant consistency is often mistaken for monotony, but when done right, it becomes the backbone of any strong relationship. Women in today's generation value consistency, but it must come with an element of growth. If you're predictable in a way that shows you're always there, but you continue to bring something new to the table, you maintain the balance that keeps her attention. Consistency means being there when you say you will, following through on promises, and showing up when it matters. However, it's not just about repeating the same actions over and over. It's about integrating subtle changes that show evolution. For example, if you've always been supportive, continue to do so, but enhance that support by learning more about her passions or surprising her with gestures that align with what she values. When you can balance consistency with growth, she sees that you're not stagnant, you're reliable, but far from boring. This makes interactions with you something she looks forward to, because she knows there's always a layer of newness to discover. When you're not around, she'll miss that combination of security and excitement, realizing how rare it is to find someone who embodies both. Section 10. Staying true to your principles. In a generation where trends change faster than the seasons and people often compromise their beliefs to fit in, staying true to your principles is a trait that stands out. Women notice when a man has strong values and lives by them, even when it's not the most popular or convenient thing to do. It shows integrity, which is rare and respected. When you maintain your principles in the face of challenges or temptations, it shows that you're unwavering and dependable. For example, if you value honesty and transparency, you won't engage in deceit, even when it might be easier to do so. If you believe in loyalty, you'll remain steadfast in your relationships, both with her and with others in your life. This consistency in character is deeply admired and makes a woman feel safe and respected. When you're not around, it's this adherence to your principles that she'll remember most. In moments where others may falter or be inconsistent, she'll recall how you stood firm, even when it wasn't easy. This reliability in character becomes a benchmark that's hard to forget. When she interacts with others who lack the same integrity, she'll find herself missing the unwavering moral compass you possess, realizing that true consistency and values are rare gems in today's world. Conclusion: high-value men live with purpose, composure, and authenticity. If this video resonated with you, like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and remember to stay confident and true to yourself.